In 1960, the world was captivated as Mikhail took on Botvinnik in a battle of wits that would decide who would be crowned the world champion. After 17 games, Tal held a commanding 10-7 lead. The title was within reach, but could Tal close out the match? In classic tale style, the 18th game was a wild ride. He landed in a hopeless position, but his opponent, pressed by the clock, missed several chances to deliver the knockout blow. One commentator said, Tal forced his way through the gate, only to get caught in revolving doors. And so it was that Tal survived, not with brilliance this time, but with sheer determination. It is a testament to Tal's fighting spirit that even when he is on the brink of defeat, he can still find a way to hang on and live to fight another day. This draw was less about artistry and more about endurance. It was a reminder that even the greatest attacking geniuses need to rely on their opponents as mistakes to survive. For more intense moments from the battle of the brains, stay tuned.
Starting with d4 can feel a little different, but is just as strong as e4. Controlling the center with an active knight. Building a strong center by controlling the d5 square. e6 opens up a line for the dark-squared bishop and prepares to castle quickly, while preparing to push a pawn to d5 and recapture with a pawn if captured. Knight c3 develops the knight to fight for the e4 square and to control d5. Black develops the bishop and pins white's knight. a3 forces the bishop to decide, exchange or retreat. Bishop takes c3 check, captures the knight, puts the white king in check, and forces white to double their c-pawns. B takes c3, captures the bishop, supports the d4 pawn, and opens up the b file. Moving the same piece twice in the opening isn't good for development. This defends the attacked pawn. This defends a knight that was under attack and had no defenders. Out comes the knight and into the battle. Castling kingside tends to be safer than queenside because the king is further from the center. This kicks a knight. The clearly correct move for a threatened knight. The better move was to prepare a bishop for development. The bishop is ready to be developed to an active square. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. The best option was to recapture a piece. The bishop is ready to be developed to an active square. Out comes the queen and into the battle. This activates a bishop by developing it off of its starting square. The knight is not as active as before on this square. Right on target. Moving the bishop gives black more flexibility in the middle game. White develops further. This is the only move that works. The knight finds it. The better move was to centralize a knight so it controls more squares. This permits the opponent to move a queen to a more active position. This is the only good move. Black's piece has moved to a square with greater activity and control. This is an equal trade. With this recapture, black introduces a new piece to the game. This is not the right idea. This is the only move that works. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. Capturing while sacrificing the bishop was the right idea. White combines recapturing with the development of a new piece. This is the way to win a bishop. The bishop was sacrificed, a stunning move. That bishop was free for the taking. This defends the attacked rook. Very precise. This mobilizes the knight, allowing it to control more of the board. This is the strongest option. This is an equal trade. A straightforward recapture. Right on target. This passed pawn is a strong asset for black. After all captures, this is an equal trade. Black combines recapturing with the development of a new piece. This develops a rook off its starting square, getting it into the action. Very precise. The rook is now on an open file, which helps control squares across the board. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. This is the strongest option. This steps away from the checking rook. Placing a rook behind an opposing passed pawn can inhibit the pawn's ability to promote. The knight is kicked by a pawn and must now move or be captured. This avoids clear danger. This was the only move. This defends the attacked knight. This takes an outpost, a square where the knight cannot be kicked out by a pawn. This is the only good move. This evades the check from the knight. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This evades the check from the knight. The knight now occupies a secure outpost. This is the only move that works. This defends the attacked pawn. This evades the check from the knight. One of the best moves. A solid choice. This allows the opponent to create a passed pawn. The better move was to create a passed pawn. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This is an equal trade. This is the only good move. After all captures, this is an equal trade. White successfully removes the opponent's passer. Now white can't stop black from winning material if they make the right moves. This steps away from the checking rook. A very strong play. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. One of the best moves. Right on target. This move puts the rook on a safer square. This is a fair move. A solid choice. That's fine. Very precise. That was a free knight. This makes a passed pawn. This takes an outpost, a square where the knight cannot be kicked out by a pawn. This is the only move that works. This steps away from the checking knight. This defends the attacked pawn. This is the strongest option. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. Black eliminates the white's passed pawn, removing a future threat. This steps away from the checking rook. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This is a fair move. This is the way to win a knight. This moves the knight to safety. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. Right on target. A very strong play. That's fine. There were worse moves, but also something much better. The best option was to move a rook to safety. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This is a fair move. One of the best moves. Very precise. This evades the check from the rook. This threatens to win a rook through a fork. This stops the opponent from being able to win a rook through a fork. A solid choice. This steps away from the checking knight. This is the way to win a pawn. This move puts the rook on a safer square. The correct move to safety. This is the strongest option. This evades the check from the rook. This offers an equal trade of pieces. This moves the rook to safety. Right on target. White will be winning a pawn with that fork. This blocks the attack on a pawn that could have been captured. This move puts the rook on a safer square. This evades the check from the rook. That's fine. The better move was to move a rook to safety. This evades the check from the rook. This moves the rook to safety. Very precise. A very strong play. This threatens to win a rook through a fork. This prevents the opponent from being able to win a rook through a fork. This blocks the check from an opposing rook. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This is a fair move. One of the best moves. This blocks the check from an opposing rook. This is the strongest option. A solid choice. A very strong play. This checks the king with two pieces at once. This evades the check from the rook. One of the best moves. Right on target. This evades the check from the rook. A solid choice. This evades the check from the rook. A very strong play. A very strong play.